kids and teens and how they experience the internet is actually not a core part of corporate cybersecurity. But I get a lot of questions around that in my trainings, and I even did special trainings for parents and caretakers during the last years. So I picked 12 scenarios you should know about when you have children or when you have children around you and you want to help them to build a healthy relationship with the internet, with all the apps and all the AI solutions. So 12 things you should know about and tips how you can prevent risks for them and how you can help them to experience the internet in a safe way and make something out of it for their own life and their own career. And as every week, I prepared a full slide deck for you in color, in black and white, and you can even print it out, organize a training for your family or your team at work. You have all the information from these videos on the slides as well. It's all for free. Just follow the link on my profile page. Go to my course page, sign up and download it. There is one big misunderstanding between the generations, and that's that the older always think that the young ones are so into every new technology, understand it so well, and know from day one how to deal with it. It's not true. So also the young ones nowadays need us grown-ups to help them understand new technology, get access to the really helpful tools and know like if something's dangerous or really helpful, and also build healthy habits. Like know when to use a device, when to use a software or a tool, and when it's time to put the device away and mingle with friends and family to have a normal, real world life. And that's something that we traditionally have to show to the younger ones, to the kids and teens, and sometimes we also have to set a reminder for ourselves. This is a very personal point. So sometimes I'm visiting schools to talk about IT and cybersecurity. And what I see more and more is that schools have this special cupboard or special area where all the kids will put their smartphones before they sit down in the classroom. And then they work with pen and paper and books. I think the better solution is when we not just give smartphones or tablets to kids, but we give them laptops, we give them towers, we give them computers, we give them the thing with a keyboard, that one that the creators of the internet use, so that they can learn how to integrate it, how they can work with a book still, write with their own hand, but also know how to use a smartphone, a tablet, and a computer in a way that makes sense. And if they don't learn it at school, if not all kids have the chance to learn this at school, making sense of technical devices and technology, then it really much depends on the pocket money of the parents if a kid gets access and gets an own computer. And you see my story written down under all my videos, and my story and my whole career in cybersecurity is much more dependent on me having a first computer very early than everything I ever learned in school. As I said, very personal take, think about it, happy to discuss in the comments, but I would say let's teach the young ones to make sense of technology and all the tools and devices they have access to, and not ask them to put it away because teachers and schools don't know how to deal with it. It's not that long ago that an internal TikTok study was revealed that within 35 minutes on that app, you can watch 260 videos because some of them are just 8 seconds long. And this way you form a very unhealthy habit and attachment to this app. This is what app designers want. This is what all other platforms copy. And this is what we have to be aware of so we can actively manage the time we spend on these platforms. And that's not just for kids and teens, but there we as grown-ups have to help and take care of them as well. It's also for ourselves. Like we also have to think twice and maybe step back at some point and say, oh, maybe 5 hours on TikTok is not the best idea on Sunday morning. So now you know, and now you can do something about it. One thing I'm personally very proud of, I trained my algorithm and I curated my feed. Actually, this is an ongoing thing. Like I'm kicking out all the things and not following all the things that are unhealthy or make me sad. And I actively search for people sharing insights, sharing positive thoughts, motivation, interesting business news, cybersecurity news, all the things that I like and I want to see more of, and get them in my feed and follow them and interact and comment and make sure that, like, whenever I open an app, a social network, or anything I like, anything I work with, that it has a positive impact on my private life, on my work life, on my mood, and that I don't see things that make me sad or influence me in any negative way. That's work, to be honest. Like, you have to sit down and you have to really put the time in to declutter and take care of your feet. But isn't this also a very nice family task for a weekend? Like, meeting in the living room, everybody bringing their smartphones, and then curating the feeds. This is something I especially learned from my cybersecurity career starters and shifters. They're coming out of school or they're coming out of university or another job, and they want to start a career in cybersecurity. So I have this little online course, and afterwards they also send me questions on LinkedIn. And what I've seen there and what I also see in my cybersecurity trainings is that sometimes when we're in our business or in our job for so long, we think that everybody has a similar knowledge level on certain topics, but that's not the case. Like, what we know and how up to date our knowledge is so dependent on our work environment. Like, for example, if an employer invests in further education and these kind of trainings that I do, I have some clients who do it monthly. I have some where it's a big thing if they do it once a year. And, depending on this, like the knowledge level of their employees, in this case on cybersecurity and anti-fraud, really varies between the companies. And the same for everybody when it's about like school education, basic knowledge, all the things that we know, oh, everybody should know. No, maybe not. And maybe it's important that we talk about the most basic things more often, and especially with young ones, with kids and teens, because they might not learn it in school. They might not hear it from their parents if they don't have a tech background, for example. So whenever you have the chance to, in this case, help them with cybersecurity, with anti-fraud, with building a healthy, safe space while using the internet, then take the time, sit down with them, and just talk. The easy way. No software needed, no technology needed, doesn't cost anything. Just sit down and ask, what level of information do you have? Can you show me the apps you're using? Can I have a look at that? May I teach you something? Do you have questions? The easy way of interaction between human beings. I always say I'm not good at fear of missing out, but maybe because in cybersecurity I have to deal with attackers, fraudsters, blackmailing, all the things every day. And then the metrics behind. If you have anything where you think you can get me, write me a message on LinkedIn and we see. But especially kids and teens, they have so much pressure because of this fear of missing out. Like, they might miss the newest app, the newest trend, the newest challenge, the newest whatever they have to buy. They have so much pressure on these things that maybe they don't really decide on these things in a way that's good for them, but they decide in this group pressure way. And we also had group pressure back in the school days, but it was not that much scaled up by the internet. We had Nokias and Snake, and that was cool. And that was also group pressure to get one. But we had no social media, and we were not constantly in this e-commerce funnels and in the social media funnels and influencer funnels. So on one side, I think we have to be careful and helpful around fear of missing out, and maybe also teaching them how it works. And on the other side, we also have to help them to make healthy decisions on their own for themselves, no matter what's going on the internet and what's the newest trend and who tells they have to buy a Rolex or something. Is this really a thing? Post in the comments. I heard that in a podcast, but post in the comments if your 6-year-old is already asking for a Rolex. Most kids nowadays, same like we grown-ups, are currently playing around with AI tools or use AI add-ons on their remaining platforms and apps, and they love it, but they have to learn that An AI is not their best friend and is not a family member and not a therapist. So it's our duty to tell them and teach them like what is possible with AI and motivate them to make the best out of it, to make it in addition to their human skills, also to like build the skill set they need for their first job, for example, for their career. Like everything will be influenced by AI. But they also need to learn like when it's a better idea to ask a real person or to sit down and learn the old school way or to do things in real life instead of online and on the screen and with AI. And this is something we have to teach them and help them with because this technology will evolve. Like we will see AI in combination with quantum computing, we will see AI in combination with robotics. So it's more important to work with AI, understand AI and where there are the pros and cons, but also understand how it works. Like get a step further and understand how it works and how it's connected with other technologies. And this is something that's much easier for us as grown-ups, also to work on our own further AI education and then teach it and forward this information to the younger ones in a way they understand and in a way they can deal with. So a lot of additional work for all of us, but we're somehow in the same boat. We would never tell a kid to jump on a stranger's car, go wherever with them. But why are we accepting all these strangers on the internet trying to contact and interact with kids every single day? For all the wrong reasons. Because we have much more attention for dangers in the physical world than we have for the online world. But it's important for kids that at the point where they use social media, and that doesn't start with their own TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat account, that in most cases starts with the school chat on WhatsApp, that they know that not everybody is a friend and they can block accounts, they can report accounts, they can talk to parents, friends, grown-ups about these accounts. If they don't know the person behind, that's a potential risk. And that's potentially a person that doesn't want anything good and that harms a safe space for kids that can be a school class chat. So make your kids aware that there are strangers, not everybody's friendly on the internet. They can talk about it, they can tell you about it, and it's okay to block those people and stay away from them. That's the best you can do, and best case before they get access to any group chat or social media app. One of the most efficient ways to keep strangers away from your own social media accounts, but also your kids' social media accounts, is data minimization. This is also one we use very often in cybersecurity, and you can organize it for social media accounts in the way that before you sign up, you sit down and try to learn the best you can about this platform and different functions. And a lot of platforms also have parent functions so that you can be the master admin of your kid's social media account. Or you can also sit down with your kid, with your teenager, and go through the different limitations that are possible, like who can send messages to this account, who is allowed to write a comment, like go through it step by step for every single platform. Like if your kid has 5 different social media accounts, that might take some time, but that's the best so you can block access to the inbox of your kid, of your teenager, even before strange messages are coming in. Do you still know how all the latest trends on the internet look like? Sometimes I have no idea, but what I can recommend is to sit down with other people, also to sit down with kids and teens or younger colleagues and ask them, what's the latest shit? Like, what apps do you like? How does your TikTok For You page look like when you open it? What are the topics? What kind of people do you see there? And so get an idea what's going on, what's the latest hype, but also understand that for all of us, like the digital world looks so different. And it's so much fun and it's so interesting to just sit down and talk about it and understand each other's perspectives and interests. And then also, one step further, talk about the potential risks and how we can protect each other and the people around us. It's a fun lunch break. There's a dangerous shift going on actually all social media platforms because the feed, the comment sections are only the tip of the iceberg. The interaction is shifting more and more into personal messages. And especially for kids and teens, that can be dangerous because there are so many hacked accounts and fake accounts of musicians they like, actors they like, brands they like, and they will approach them in the messages. And they will maybe also ask them to send information or photos of themselves via messages. And a grown up having a look at the account will think everything's fine, the feed looks fine, there are no strangers in the comment sections. But if you don't know what's going on in the DMs, you don't know what's going on these platforms. As preparation for my trainings, I also had a look at cyber mobbing and all the things around, and I analyzed some cases. And what I can tell you about cyber mobbing is that you might not see where it started anymore, if it was online or offline, or who was the first aggressor, but it's like a spiral, and it's accelerating this whole aggression within a group or a class or at a school. It's so harmful, and it's really causing a big damage for everybody being part of it. So cyber mobbing is something that we should definitely have an eye on and should try to stop very, very early. I hope that also all the teachers are aware of this, because it happens very often in school classes and within different classes and in groups. But it's not just happening online. Like, very often there are physical fights happening on the school ground, and there are signs and there are rumors and there are things that you can also see when you're not analyzing the digital world. So this is really about like thinking, if there are some fights at school, what's going on the internet? Is this maybe even bigger? And where is this happening? And then you can follow the signs and try to stop it when it's still not as harmful as it could be when this whole thing grows. A simple photo of a kid and a photo taken from wherever on the internet of a naked person, both put together very easily with AI and shared in a school group chat or shared publicly on the internet, can cause so much harm and mental problems and tears for this kid affected, that we should prevent such cases and limit access to photos and videos of the kids. But also, when this happens, it's important that you know there is help. There are so many child protection organizations you can contact locally in your city or country, and who know about these cases, who see them every day, and who know exactly what to do, have the lawyers and the therapists, and can definitely help the family and the child to get over this situation, to work on this. But normally, like, outsiders, aunties and uncles might take care of it and make the contact. So now you know how to prevent it and how to help in the worst case, and have an eye on the kids around you, because this is nothing I make up. This is something that happens every day. If I should give my life and the current reality one big headline, then I would say it's never stop learning and make time for it every day. Because I learned this in my work as cybersecurity expert and strategist. I learned this as entrepreneur, and I also see that with our attraction research, where we're working on a platform that helps to prevent risks, also by building skills. And we also do a lot of research around attention spans and how people learn and how they like to learn, and how we can bring this all together with functions and habits and everything. And everything leads to, we need to learn more. We need to be more curious about future technologies, not just blindly following everything we see on the internet, in the media, what tech moguls tell us, but like learn so much that we can remain critical thinkers, and we can say, this makes sense for me, this doesn't, and then build this knowledge for ourselves and take others with us, take the people around us with us on this journey with learning about new technologies, learn about changing global scenarios, and try to stay up to date, and not just with an annual training or a formal further education session or week or whatever, but on a daily basis, like with all kind of learning snippets and snacks we can get. And then also, when we have the feeling, and especially around technology because it's moving so fast, that we take the time to sit down in a maybe formal environment if we need it and learn new skills and learn new things. This is our reality now. Lifelong learning is not a hobby anymore. It's a necessity if we want to have a happy life, a successful life, and we want to deal with technology in a way that makes us happy, is healthy, and doesn't harm our life and doesn't harm our career. So make the time, be curious, and also take others with you, and especially teach the younger ones how they can deal with it as well. If you stayed until here, until the end of this video, I guess it's just because you want to hear my personal take and my cybersecurity expert view on influencer parents, or shall I say influencers becoming parents, making clicks and likes and reach and more money out of their child even before it's born. But there are still two ways to have a look at it, because it's a totally different story if you are somebody with 1 million following and you also have millions in a bank account and you can take care of your own privacy and of your family at the level where you want to do and not share it with the public on the internet, because you have lawyers, you have a physical security team, you have a digital security team, and in this case you have cybersecurity experts who also have special tools. Like we have tool providers that actually provide, let's say, cyber intelligence. Like also if you have something on the internet and you want to clean it, you don't want to see it there anymore, it's possible, it's costly, but we can do it. So if you are in this situation, the world looks totally different than when you are a little influencer, not with the biggest budget, maybe also not so aware how to manage your own privacy and then also take care of your kids and then sharing their whole story, their whole life online, the same more chaotic way to make money. So this is a total different thing. The one is a business case. We would do the same risk assessment that we do with a startup or with a company, because that's a business case. Those kids are just very early into business. And also from a security perspective, sometimes that makes more sense than keeping them out. And on the other side, this chaotic little private business way is something that can cause so much harm because there's nobody to have an eye on the kids and their privacy. And there's also nobody who can help in case of a cyber incident, in case of also a shitstorm against the kids, in case of like when you want to get something out of the internet again that you regret that you posted it in the beginning, or if there are any deepfakes coming up, or all the other things that we talked about in this video. So yeah, there are two different ways of being an influencer and being a parent influencer. Choose wisely which one you want to be, and if it's not better to keep your kids out of the public and your own internet accounts, your own social media accounts, at least until they have a certain age and can make decisions on their own, or maybe maintain their own accounts to decide if they want to become influencers or not, if they want to have a normal life that nobody knows about. And if you are in binge watching mode now, recommendation, there is also a full series on AI tool assessments in my YouTube shorts or the big video on the main page. And there are many more helpful little videos on cybersecurity and what's going on the internet, how you can protect yourself, your loved ones, all the people around you. Happy watching.